It's time for another Out of Bounds Rewind with Bo Bounds on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Bad day.
Okay,
Bad day.
What?
I wish one of them law enforcement officers would have got Pete Golden before he left town. Wish they'd have kept him here in Tuscaloosa. You've told us for years, Bo, that he wasn't worth a flip, and we tried to believe, and we didn't. We just fell on our face. People, they don't want to listen to you, Bo.
How about how sloppy this team is? I mean, it's not buttoned up for what Nick Saban is known for. And y'all, look, you make mistakes. These kids are 18 to 23 years old, but for the most part, the last 16 years, Alabama's buttoned up, and they're disciplined, and they don't have a lot of penalties, and they're not sloppy. Where's this going, Ron?
Bo, it's been a trend. You can go back and look. They've been ranked down in the 100s since 2016 in penalty yards. Now, some of it you could say that the officials try to keep it close because they need a game. I mean, some of it is that. I'm not saying that they just – but listen, Saturday night, you didn't lose a game because of officials. You lost a game because of Pete Golding. But you're pointing out something that's been there. This is not a clean, disciplined football team. I had John Hannon, one of the greatest of all time, greatest offensive lineman probably ever played the game. He said on my show, he said, guys, this is mistakes. It's mental miscues. Well, at some point, there's got to be some accountability to that. But I think the bigger problem is some of your player development that you've had. You look at Jordan Battle, DeMarco Hellams. Are they better today than what they were starting 2 years ago?
Does this go back to losing Scott Cochran and it just now?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay, so you and I had this conversation. Scott Cochran had been with Saban for years.
And I was wrong. I said he'll never miss him. It's changed in the philosophy. No, you miss him. You miss him a ton because he sets the tone on the locker room, on the sideline.
Well, he's with them.
He's an energy.
He's with them more than any other coach, and especially January through August.
I don't even know this strength conditioning coach now. If you walked him out on a lineup and said, pick out the strength conditioning coach, I might be able to get it. I got to be honest, I don't know what it looks like. I'm not saying he doesn't do his job, but I said I don't know what he looks like. So, with Scott Cochran, during a game, you can't lift weights during a game. So part of that job is to motivate.
So he's got neither one of his coordinators are anywhere close to A coordinators. All right, in Bill O'Brien or Pete Golding, and then we're not sure if Saban matched what Scott Cochran brought to the table as far as running the strength and conditioning program for Alabama. And is that now starting to rear its ugly head? Of course, y'all could still go 11-1.
Bo, write this headline. You ready for this? Vanderbilt saves Alabama on the offensive line.
Yeah, the left. Yeah,
put that in your headline. Vanderbilt saves Alabama's offensive line. He's the best offensive lineman you got out there.
He is the transfer. So, I don't know who on your staff identified him. I know they talked about him on Saturday.
Probably South and Surrey.
Okay, well, he is an outstanding player. There's no question about it, right?
Hey, well, he's the most consistent group that you've got. So you've been recruiting these players. Am I admitting that Vanderbilt is doing a better job of developing players at that position? They are.
Yeah.
A lot of problems, man. We could spend the next 2 hours talking about Alabama problems. It's not just one area. We can talk about penalties. We can talk about play calling. We can talk about player development. We can talk about wide receivers dropping the football. We can talk about not countering. Guy had 6 catches and 5 of them were touchdowns. Justin Hyatt.
Yeah.
You know what you countered him with? Instead of putting like an Eli Ricks, a lockdown corner, they put a safety on him, Malachi Moore. Well, that's –
And Saban, Saban cut his teeth in football 52 years ago at Kent State on coaching the secondary. Ryan Fowler?
Yeah. Well, he's too predictable right now. And the problem is this talent gap is getting equal. I've been talking about on your show for last year. This transfer portal, the talent's equal. It's more equal now. The parity in the game, there's more parity than we've ever had. And so the problem is when you had the dominant talent and you had better than everybody else at every position, including your backups, you could line up and go, we're going to do it right here, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Problem is you don't have it now. Everybody's got talent. Everybody's got talent. Your second string is nowhere near as good. So when you try to do that, you're so predictable. And you know what Alabama's going to do Saturday, what Nick Saban's going to set that defensive secondary. And so he's going to have to add some new wrinkles to it. He's going to have to change it up a little bit. Play some zone. Don't stay always in the man, especially if you're getting toasted. I mean, find a way. You know, and if you can't stop the wide receiver, then put the toughest linebacker that you've got and jam the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage. Knock him at least off the pattern to give your pass rush. They had no pass rush. None.
No, Hooker.
And some of that was because, but some of that they were spying, and you know they kept Will Anderson in as a spy. But their press was just it was awful. That's one of the worst games. They broke a record from 1907. You got to go back to 1907 since the last time you had a team that gave up that many points. Broke a school record on penalties.
You know, and football doesn't count back then. So basically it's the most points, you know, ever given up in 52 points. For our listeners, there was another game, 1907 Swanee, that Fowler is referencing. Roll Tide, Ryan Fowler, 109 the game, T-Town, joining us on the Yuengling Lager guest line. Man.
Ticked off Ryan Fowler.
Yeah.
Ticked off Ryan Fowler.
Ticked off Ryan Fowler. Ryan ticked off Fowler. 109 the game, Tuscaloosa. Okay, there we go.
Matt is a hornet, son. I threw things. I broke my freaking glasses. I go to a backup pair of glasses. I mean, I was mad as a hornet in that game. Still mad.
I could tell.
Wait till Saban hears me at 2:00. I'm on about a 3 on a level of 10 right now. 2:00, I'll be warmed up. I'll be ready to go. I'll be about an 8.
Okay.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.